Washington's clear thinking headquarters. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
8:37 on the Morning Majority. Brian Eben, Steve King, Republican from Iowa, here with us this morning. Been here all 4 hours long.
And happy to be here.
Great to have you. Glad to have Larry Kudlow on the show. Larry, host of Kudlow Report, 7 o'clock CNBC, and also the Larry Kudlow Show here on 630 WMAL Saturdays at 7 o'clock. Larry, you're in Washington, right?
I am. I'm in an undisclosed location in Washington. Hello, Steve King.
Hello, Larry. I'm in this location, too, where the security is so tight you have to know the code to get out of the men's room.
That's right. We'll get into some of your conversations that you're going to have this week. I know you talked to John Boehner last night, but I got to ask you about Japan. I watched your show last night, and I think everybody at the start of the show, it was before really the third explosion occurred, so I think people were more optimistic about the economy recovering in Japan. But with this latest incidents and the reactor partial meltdown or whatever's going to happen, and essentially everybody leaving the reactor, where do you think this is going with Japan, and financially how's it going to hamper them in the short term and the long term?
Well, look, I don't have any more information on the reactor than anybody else does, outside of the official circles in Japan. I guess I can't possibly say. I mean, as long as the containment, the concrete containment structure holds, I don't think you have a nuclear disaster. I mean, that's been the way I've looked at it all along. Mm-hmm. But regarding radiation spreading and so forth, I have no way of knowing. My own view is Japan will get itself together, and it will recover. These are very strong people, and they've been here before, and they're good business people. Mm-hmm. The thing that is beginning to trouble me is that the human toll is rising. I mean, the death toll, the victim toll, the homeless toll looks a lot worse today, or last night today, than it did even when the story broke on Friday. So that's a tough morale thing. But people that know Japan say that the Japanese will come back. It's going to take a while. It's a terrible story right now, and it's getting worse by the hour. I understand that. So I don't know if I have any new wisdom on the subject.
Well, Larry, the tragedy that we've seen unfold, I know we had a few hundred fatalities early, but we also saw the tsunami. I didn't see so much the tsunami hitting as I did the water washing off of Japan, sweeping houses and cars and everything with it, and you just knew that the tragedy was in much greater proportions than was originally announced. I just the financial question I'd ask of you, and I only heard one estimate on the damage, and it's way too early to apply a number to it, but I heard $160 billion in some news report within the last 24 hours. And whatever that is, that gives us at least a measure of the scope. Does this mean that when the Japanese go back to rebuild, that they stop buying our bonds and start borrowing from the same market that we will need to go to?
Well, look, I don't know. The estimates, you had a lot of Wall Street estimates yesterday that seemed to be centered around $35 billion for insurance purposes. Beyond that, it's just too hard to know, and there are too many unknowns here. I do agree with your point, and as reporting this story last Friday when it first broke, things have gotten much, much worse. There's no two ways about that. It is becoming just a horrific story, and that troubles me a lot. It troubles me from a humanitarian point of view, from the victim's point of view, but it also troubles me from an economic standpoint. So I think just the power outage